You have to keep on the question. Guys, welcome to the Three Marketer Show. You can see how excited I am because we have the Grandmaster today. This is my mentor, my Sifu. And he's the one who he influenced a lot of things, but later we will tell you the story. So basically, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching the replay and whatnot, if you're listening to the podcast, this is Jason. What you're watching over here is the Three Marketer Show. What we do is we go live every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. to discuss one digital marketing related topics. And we have our co-host here.
21.
Yes, we are at 21 episode right now. We have Manfred from Singapore as my co-host, and we have Andrew from Malaysia as my co-host, and we have Kenny here. I mean, can you imagine Kenny? But let me actually share a little bit about the background story of this thing. I really have to tell why is Kenny so important in my journey, because he actually helped me. In a way, the conversation that we had many years back in 2016 made me decide to start TribeWeb Academy. We were actually on the air flying back to Penang because I had the opportunity to spend a whole day with him. It's so expensive to do that with him, right? So because we were going to see a client, so I spent a whole day with him because at that point of time, I was really lost. I didn't know because I was running my agency, boutique though, but for a while, I came to a point where it's not really something that I think that I want to do for long term, but I didn't know what to do. So we were talking about scaling. And after the discussion, I decided that, okay, I think I want to start teaching. So that's when I started TribeWeb Academy. And 5,000 over students later, this is where we are today. And what happened really recently, and especially during, I think it's not too long, right, Kenny? It's only during the MCO period, you started to be very aggressively on your Instagram. And it's really crazy, the way Kenny does his Instagram for his personal branding is really something that I think is really worth noticing. That's why I want to bring him up and share with us. Kenny is really a super veteran, like a grandmaster. He has been in the advertising industry for over 40 years. He was one of the first agency in Malaysia, maybe, even Malaysia, to go digital. It was started in 1987. Kenny bought his first Apple computer. Back then, was it called Mac?
Yeah, it was already the Mac.
It was already the Mac, right? So this guy is really leading. Yeah.
It's the Mac Classic 1-bit. Black and white, no grayscale also. 20 megabyte hard disk.
Wow, crazy. 20 megabyte hard disk. So that's how you started this.
256K RAM.
But Kenny, can you feel us a bit about the background, about how you started your agency and why did you actually started digitalization, and how do you see, one of the questions that I picked from Andrew just now, how do you actually how do you stay competitive as an agency before we go into the questions that we have today?
I think in the creative industry, one of the things that is very necessary is you must embrace change, because it is one industry that changes very fast. And back in those days when I started in 1979, everything was analog. Cut and paste is not Command V and Command X. Cut and paste means you use a knife and you use gum. We couldn't even get our own typesetting, which means you have to send it out to a typesetter to typeset, and then you bring it back, and then you cut line by line to do your headline, do your body copy. So everything was manual. In 1983, I started dabbling into computers, the Sinclair at that time, and I played with it. It was a bit scary because for our generation to go digital is a big step and a big investment. But in 1987, I decided that if I don't, I'm going to be a dinosaur, because I really believe that it will really enhance the way we do our creative work. So I bought my first Mac, the Mac Classic, and then the first Apple printer, laser printer, 300 DPI. That 2 unit cost me 52,000 ringgit. At that time, that money.
Goodness.
So I had to do higher purchase, but I never regretted, because all those agencies that didn't digitize all closed shop after when we by the time we hit the 1992, if you are not digitally savvy, you are finished. So I believe there are two areas to stay competitive in this industry. Number one, embrace change. Why am I on IG? I'm a granddad, but I keep pace with what's happening in the digital world. So you need to be ahead of the curve in this industry. Number two is you need to continue to be creative, because a creative agency is not known for the quality of your service or how it is basically your ability to bring across fresh ideas. And to do that, the consumer behavior changes over time. What works in the 80s, what works in the 90s no longer work today. So if you are still stuck in a time warp and you still do things the way you do in the past, you will lose your market. So, like for example, in the 70s or 80s, you can have a full page ad that is strictly copy, no image, nothing. People will just spend time to read your ad.
Yes.
Not anymore. Not anymore. We are living in a very image-driven world, and today it's not even image-driven; it's video-driven.
Yes.
So
That's
if
right.
you don't embrace what is changing in the market, you will lose your relevance, and that's how you won't be competitive anymore.
Yep. And you're saying about, seriously, I think everybody should really kind of like, this is really something that, especially when we are in the industry, this is really something that we have to kind of like embrace, because even Kenny, how are you, Kenny, if you don't mind?
I'm 62 this year.
Checked out. And Kenny is very active on Instagram. I posted something and tagged him immediately. He actually responded back to me. And like I said, he actually built a very strong personal brand using Instagram and organically. So I think first question that we have over here, Kenny, is really about this. Of all platforms, why Instagram instead of other platforms? What makes you choose Instagram?
Okay, I have to be honest here. I didn't choose any platform. Neither did I choose Instagram. Like most people my age, I was on Facebook.
Okay.
But what happened was the MCO, with the pandemic, it gave me time. So what I did was, at that time, I have an IG account for my company, kenray.com.my. So I went in and I said, since I got time, let me check out the platform and see what's happening there. Okay. And when I was on Instagram, I found a few very active, creative people on Instagram, and I noticed they were using carousels.
Right.
And I realized that it was a perfect platform to be able to share your expertise. Now, at that time, Kenray was only showing some of my work in terms of portfolio, and then some creative quotes that I post, and I don't engage. So I was just using the platform how Instagram initially intended, which is to share your photos and all that with your friends, your family. It was never a serious platform. Okay. So when I saw that these people were growing organically, and then they were actually monetizing from the platform, I began to engage with them. And they gave me a lot of tips. And one of the things why it ended up with me using it for my personal brand was they told me this. They said people don't follow logos. People follow people. And at that time, my Instagram account was kenray.com.my, which is my website. And then the logo was my Kenray logo. So a few of them told me, it says, Kenny, you have been engaging on this platform. We know you are a guru in this sphere. Why don't you put your face? Now I'm a very low-key person. I don't like to put my face. I don't like to put my profile image. But after talking to them, they asked me this question. They said, do you have a team that is commenting on your IG account? I said yes, in the past, yes. But since MCO, I personally engage. And they said, if you are the only person engaging on your platform, it shouldn't be your company account. You should switch it into your personal account. So that was when I made a decision to change the handle from kenray.com.my to kenny.kenray.
Yeah.
And put my profile picture there. And that's when it grew, because people begin to see the face behind the brand.
Well, it helps that you own the company.
Yeah, it helps. It helps. So that does not mean I don't have a company IG account. They serve different purpose.
Okay.
So I no longer post my portfolio. I no longer post my work on my personal personal account. But I have another company account which use back my own name, which shows still got educational posts and also our work.
Right.
So if
So
you go to my
sorry.
so I didn't choose a platform. It just so happened that I had more time. So I spent more time on the platform and I began to see the potential of the platform as a way to brand myself, because they say end of the day, if you brand your company, you will not make a big impact, because people don't follow companies. Even if you look at some of the big companies, the CEO or whatever, they have their personal account, and that is where you build your authority.
So in a way, you still have to have a personal account and a company account, which is the company one is really for the presence and for people to seek,
Yes.
to look for you and all this kind of thing. But in order to grow the influence, it really has to be a face.
It has to be personal branding.
It has to be personal branding so that you can instill all these personalities and all this into it.
Yeah, because people, like I mentioned before, people follow people. They want to know who they are talking to. They want to know who they are engaging with. If you just have a logo there, it is very impersonal.
Right.
And being a social media platform, people don't socialize with companies. People socialize with people.
That's very true. That's
So
very
it
true.
makes a big difference moving from my company account to putting my face there.
I was really excited because the moment I saw that you start putting up your face, I was like, okay, this is really happening. And that's when I really noticed that, your posts got a lot more shares and then a lot more engagement coming in, because I was really observing, because it's really fascinating to watch. Everything happened really fast. I
Yeah,
think
this is only during the MCO period. I only got into the platform during this time. I was never active on Instagram.
right.
So
It was the
Kenny,
dormant account. Yes.
would you consider this as a shift in the way that CEOs of companies, 10 years ago or maybe 5 years ago, the CEOs basically hide behind the brand of the company, and it's always the company first. But what the experiment has shown you is it seems that the trend has now gone where if you really want to survive or basically want to stand out in among your competitors, the CEO or either the founder or the owner of the company will actually have to come up front, as opposed to like what Elon Musk is doing for his SpaceX, Tesla, and all those things. Even Microsoft, is doing the same thing. Although they are not founders, but they're still CEOs. Is this the trend that's moving forward for companies?
Yes. Because of the trust factor. It is not like in the past where if you have a good product, people buy product. Today, people buy into your belief system. People buy into the benefit. And so you will find that some of the biggest companies today, there's always a face behind the company. For Apple, if not for Steve Jobs, you wouldn't have the Apple DNA. The Apple DNA is not about brick and mortar. Apple DNA is about a person who was behind that brand, and we all know it's Steve Jobs. Same with Microsoft. Same with Facebook. Like you mentioned, Tesla. So you will notice that brands that form a connection with their followers, there's a face behind that brand.
Interesting.
And they make the face visible.
And the value of that person behind the brand can actually impact the performance of the company for both consumer and shareholders.
I have a question that is beyond today, because I think it's really something that's very important to a lot of people. Personal branding sounds like a very big word, but to you, Kenny, would you mind to share with us in a quick one? What what is personal branding and how does it different from company branding?
Okay, I am very well versed with company branding because as an ad agency, that's what we do. And if you talk about company branding, there is the internal and external branding. Internal branding is the personality of your company, your voice, the why you do things, your vision, your mission. That is internal branding, which is important. All your staff, all your team have to understand that the internal value of the brand. The external branding is how you connect with your customer. Those are your touch points. And external branding include your logo, include your marketing strategy, include your advertising, all touch points in terms of exposure, including your customer service.
Right.
So if you talk about company branding, it is usually sales motivated. Yes, it has got one purpose only, your bottom line.
Makes
How
sense.
does the branding of your company return a profit to the organization? Personal branding is a bit different. Personal branding is about sharing your vision. The purpose is higher. The purpose is not about just dollars and cents. You'll find that all those that went into personal branding, they give, they mentor, they teach, they impact the community in a way where they add value to lives.
Mm.
But in what you call the benefit of doing that is they monetize,
Mm.
because they have become a brand.
Right.
So it's slightly different in terms of the end result may still bring you money, but the motivation is very different.
So in a way, I would say that personal branding. What I pick up from you just now is like it should be something that serves higher purpose than your company branding. So if it's kind of like aligned together, like for example, Elon Musk and Tesla. So Tesla is the machine for Elon Musk to achieve his vision. And Elon Musk may be trying to do a lot of things. That's why he has SpaceX, and then there's another one which is kind of like the train kind of thing. So yeah,
Yes.
so Elon
Hyperloop.
Musk, yeah, Hyperloop. Elon Musk drives the vision, and the companies is really the one. And when a person believes in Elon Musk, they will be attracted to the company and become his
Yes.
customer. So
That
in
is
a
the
way,
power of
monetization. Yeah,
that is the power of personal branding.
right.
You build what you call you build trust, and then you build a following.
Mm.
And when people trust you, and they become your fan, you create a loyalty which automatically move your product
Mm.
because they
Okay.
believe in you. Yeah.
I
All
think
right.
the personal branding is more aspirational. Uh,
Yes.
I mean, to a certain extent, basically the companies are just a vehicle for them to so-called carry out their ambition or vision. Because if you look at people like Elon Musk, it's way beyond Tesla. He's got his hands inside neural machine or AI. They've just launched the GTP3, which is basically an AI for copywriting. And it's open source. It's not open source, but particularly open for people to adopt. So, and it's way beyond a single company. So in terms of branding, that means you got to be a totem pole way higher compared to
Yes.
the company.
Yeah.
It is the same. I mean, I am not an expert on personal branding, but basically, what I did on IG does impact my business,
Mm.
because
Right.
instead of sending people to website is information centric, which
Correct.
means what we do, who we are, our jobs, our portfolio. It is very impersonal. So now I don't send people to my website. I send people to my IG account. Recently, we got we won a digital marketing account for shopping malls,
Wow.
because after we were invited to pitch, I just gave my IG link to the person in charge. And the next thing I noticed was she was following, and she was like liking my post. And 2 weeks later, she told me we got the job.
So I
So
really want to
basically-
share this.
So basically, because if they go to the website, it is only information. But if they go into my IG account, they get to know who I am. They get to know what I do, what I believe in. Because in my IG account, I also share stories. It's not just what I know, it's also who I am.
True.
And at end of the day, if my client can believe in me, then obviously they will believe in what I do. So it makes your ability to convince much better, because you are not selling. They go and observe, they go and see, and they
Consume the
can
content.
and then when they read the comments of people in my IG account, they know that these are people who know what they are talking about when it comes to branding, when it comes to advertising, when it comes to copywriting.
There's
Like
a personal
in
connection.
in my IG account, I call my area of expertise ABCD. A for advertising,
Yep.
B for branding, C for copywriting, D for design. And basically, that's my area of expertise.
And you actually
Nice.
build a reel of a lot of information inside each and every one. You're sharing stories and you
Yeah.
go into them. Yeah, that's a very good one. I think that's a very interesting one. But by the way, since we are talking about the features, I think Kenny, can we share with us, because I believe you are now a lot more expert in Instagram right now, at least in terms of using the features. Can you name useful features? I'm sorry, I actually queued the wrong one. Can you name three useful features? Yeah, uniquely on Instagram.
Okay, basically, Instagram has lost its original purpose, which is basically for you to share your photos. When Facebook bought over Instagram, I believe Facebook has a purpose. They don't buy things just to buy things.
Obviously.
Of course, they have got what we call their database, which is very valuable to them. But more than that, when Facebook bought over IG, we saw a lot of changes coming in. The introduction of carousel was what caught my attention. With the carousel format, it is a very good platform for teaching, for educational posts, for instructional posts, because you can swipe over 10 slides and be able to use it as a platform to teach. So what I found very useful in terms of IG is the ability to use it as a platform to educate or to share your expertise. And that is very important because it builds your authority in that space. Not long after that, Snapchat was getting very popular. And if you know Facebook don't miss a chance. So they use IG and introduce stories. Stories is a much easier way to use rather than Snapchat. So the introduction of stories actually impacted Snapchat, and a lot of people are now using stories. And stories is an excellent platform for you to do promotional content because it only lasts 24 hours. And if you hit 10,000 followers, you have the swipe up feature, which allow you to sell. So again, Facebook has got a purpose of monetizing the platform, and stories is one of an excellent feature that IG have for you to promote content and for you to sell.
Okay,
Then,
so I just pick up, sorry to interrupt a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to do a quick recap because I'm actually doing note here to share with the followers over here. So the first useful feature is carousel, because you say it's really useful for you to share educational information, to share your expertise. And the second one is to use story for promotional and
promotional
more
content
salesy
and to
kind
sell.
of thing.
Yes.
Okay,
And
what's the third one?
Then TikTok took the world by storm.
TikTok.
Again, Facebook looked at the opportunity.
Right.
So what did they do? They introduced
Facebook.
Reels. Reels is basically a duplicate of what TikTok does. And when they introduced Reels, you notice TikTok was banned in a few countries. India, it was banned in US. And if you notice something, those are countries where Reels are very strong. Because they have no
Reels,
choice.
I haven't used Reels much though.
The reason is because Reels is not rolled out in Malaysia.
Right.
Oh, I see.
So when you ask me, what are the three useful features, I included Reels because Reels is a key part of IG, but it's not in Malaysia. Now, what is Reels good for? Reels is good for entertainment. And it's very good for you to be able to show yourself. So a lot of people are using Reels for personal branding because they are able to give short videos on tips and things like that. So it's very good for promoting personal branding. Okay, since Malaysia don't have Reels, we have one other feature from IG which is also fantastic. It's called Guides. Guides was introduced only recently. Now, if you
noticed that. What's that?
if you go to my IG
Okay.
post, you will
Right.
see that I do a lot of series. Like I do a
Oh.
typography series. So I may do 10 posts of carousel teaching typography. Then recently I did another 12 posts on branding. So what Guide does is it allows you to consolidate all these posts into one like ebook,
My
which is
God,
accessible,
seriously.
which is accessible on IG itself. And what it does is it gives you a platform of a mini blog in IG itself.
Really? And you
So
have
Guide
number
is
one, number
another
two. It's like a
fantastic.
series kind of thing.
Yes. So
You
it
can
is
build.
even more powerful than Carousel because it gives you in-depth material to be able to educate your followers.
It's like a wow. This is awesome. First time. I'm so noob on
So
Instagram. I only know how to run ads. What the heck?
if you go to my IG page, you will see there are three icons. The middle one is guides. And if you
Correct.
click guides, you will see I have a series on quotes, I have a series on typography, I have a series on branding.
Yes. Wow. That shows
And
how.
and my followers are telling me what, convert your guides into ebook and sell. We will buy it from you. So
Awesome.
if you look at IG, it has actually evolved into a very serious platform for entrepreneurs, for people who wants to monetize. Now, IG don't make you money, but IG is a platform for you to be able to be online and take people offline to monetize.
Okay. That's a very interesting.
So for me, these are three very useful features, but Reels are not here yet. So I added guides. Guides is very new.
It's very new. I never seen this. Use guides
Yeah,
to combine your carousels
into an ebook, into
into
a blog format.
into ebook or blog format.
Yeah. So which means you can actually have content. You can have they are able to see all your posts in the sequence you want.
Right. Chiwai was saying, let me bring up what Chiwai said. Chiwai was saying we have been
Chiwai will
schooled
love
by a
this.
62-year-old about digital marketing. Seriously, Chiwai is our fourth marketer, man. Chiwai every episode he follows. He's like a very good friend. And
Chiwai will love
Chiwai also runs an agency. So it's like all
Hi,
good.
Chiwai.
Yeah, Chiwai also runs an agency, and seriously, exactly right, Chiwai. And all these, we have no clue about all this, which will bring us to the next question. But before I bring up my next question, I think we have a question coming from Simon. Simon, who is my recent student in the recent 6-day challenge. Simon was asking, your IG's account is personal or company account? Personal, is it for personal brand? It's personal branding, correct?
Yes.
We talk about this. Yes, it's a personal
It
account.
was actually, it started as my company account, and then I hijacked it and made it into a personal account because I was engaging so much. I was engaging so much on the company account that my followers were telling me, "Look, we want to know you. We don't want to follow a logo. We want to follow you. Can you show your face?" So that's how I converted into a personal account, and then I began to change my content from showing what we do in the company to showing what I know. So basically, if you look at my IG account, it has got three things: who I am, what I do, and what I know.
Maybe we should share the IG account to our
I
audience.
already shared to the IG account. So everybody follow Kenny's IG, please. You know, you have so much information that you want to consume, talking about branding, talking about personal branding, talking about typography design and all that. You're entering a university. Welcome to the world of Kenny Song, right? So that's and for your information, Chiwa, you know why is this thing so informational? Because Kenny himself is a so-called serves as a board of director, board of advisors in 5 universities. So Kenny's experience is not just about helping his clients transform. He's really the guy behind that actually nurtured a lot of creative mind for the industry. So come on, man, it's crazy thing, right? So and Kenny is here.
Those are voluntary work, lah. Those are voluntary work. Basically, it's just to help the universities produce students that are more relevant to the industry.
Yeah.
Which will benefit people like me, lah.
Yeah,
I don't want
because
to
you
have
get
to.
the pay, right?
Yeah, because I get a lot of graduates that come out and they have to relearn. You know, they have to unlearn and relearn because there are many things that they learn is outdated.
Yeah.
So we are going in to help make sure that their syllabus is up to date with the industry requirements.
Yeah, and I quickly queue up this one.
June, about Instagram now.
Kenny, this is June saying hi to you. Kim is June.
Hi, June. Hi.
June. Remember that? Because of her.
Yeah. I know. I just spoke to her this afternoon.
Okay. So yeah, and then okay, Andrew, you were saying something.
No, I'm relearning about Instagram now.
Yeah,
Crazy,
same
right?
here.
I didn't know that it could be so powerful. That's why this is a very good lesson. And tomorrow onwards, everybody start building their brand.
You are truly a key opinion leader.
Yeah, that's coming from Chiwa here. It's like a pure authority and real KOL. You know,
Absolutely.
this is what we call informational KOL, not just those people who actually posing nice pictures and all that, which Manfred was just talking about.
Yeah.
And this kind of KOL is so much more powerful because they really leave a very strong impact and educate. So yeah, June here. And I want to bring up to the next question, which is a very serious one, which a lot of people try to ask, because when you're trying to build a brand, you want to see how you can monetize. You mentioned about how you gain a new client because of your account, but can you share with us a little bit more about how possibly you can monetize your personal brand?
Okay, I want to basically it is a fallacy thinking that Instagram can help you monetize. Instagram don't make money for you. Instagram is a platform for you to share your knowledge and expertise. And the net result of that is you gain clients, because you must understand followers are not clients. And this is something which a lot of us on IG suddenly discovered, because you don't need a lot of followers to be able to benefit by being able to monetize. And it is very unusual because we had some people who introduced their ebooks, and they realized that it is the people who have not been engaging, people who have not liked their posts, people who have not interacted with them, who have not direct messaged them, are the ones who are buying from them. So which means don't think that those people who are active on your IG account are the ones who are your customers. Many of them are in your sphere. Like, for example, I interact with a lot of designers. They are not going to buy from me. They are designers.
True.
I interact with a lot of branding experts. We exchange ideas, but they're not going to buy from me because they are already branding experts. But there are a lot of people who are passively following you. Suddenly, when you offer something, they are the ones that buy. So I had one IG account who I've been following from the beginning, and we have what we call collaborated before. He launched an ebook. First 48 hours, he sold 250 ebooks.
Wow.
And and he says out of that percentage, 80% of people who bought from him are people he didn't know that were his followers.
No clue, right? Not those people
Yeah.
who actually engage a lot.
So if you talk about monetizing, you first of all you have to use the platform to build authority. People don't buy from people they don't trust. People will not buy from someone whom they not see as someone who is an expert in that space or that sphere. So you have to use that platform to build your authority in the sense that, if you talk about branding, let's say if you talk about Facebook, Jason is the guy.
Okay.
No question. So when you build your authority in that space and you sell anything related to that discipline, you will have buyers. And second, you have to build your influence. How do you build your influence? When people who are within that sphere speak highly of you, which means other people in branding, other people who has got bigger followers than you, if they recognize you as an expert, they actually authenticate your position. So both of these will help you build trust. And how do you build trust? Before you can even monetize, you have to learn to give. And you will find that all those people who have grown their IG account is because day in, day out, they give. They give of their advice, they give of their expertise. They are there to help their followers. So I have got DMs, people who ask me, you have been in business for 40 years. What should I be worried about in my first year of business? They will DM me. So I'll give them advice. Or there will be people who told me because I said a story about how I got sued.
Yeah, I follow that.
Yeah. And then they will tell me, they will ask me for advice if they are in a similar situation. So you will find that when you form that kind of connection, there are people who tell me, Kenny, if you compile all your stories and you do an ebook, I'll be first in line to buy. So you will notice that there are a few ways how you monetize. It is not IG paying you. Okay.
Yep.
Number one, coaching. There are a lot of people who, because they have built their authority in that space, there are people coming to them for advice. First 15 minutes free. If you want me to spend more time with you, what they are doing now on IG is 150 USD per hour.
Wow.
For coaching. So I have got friends on IG whose calendar is full for the whole month, They can be coaching from 9 to 5. You imagine how much they earn? USD 150 per hour. Then if you don't have time, you can do a masterclass, which means you have group students, 20 students at one go. You charge less. So you have different tiers where people, if they cannot afford one-on-one, they may join your masterclass. It's less personal.
Group coaching.
Yeah. Another way is you monetize through ebooks. You have been giving a lot on your platform, but there are many who wants you to compile them into something where they can buy and refer to. So there are a lot of my IG peers on branding. They develop ebooks, and you will find that even though we are in the same sphere, all of us will produce different kind of ebooks, because it is different. It's just different.
Life experiences.
Yeah. Another way of doing it is to sell your service.
Yeah.
They know you are good in copywriting. They know you are good in design. They know you can do social media management. There are people who I've got people DM me from Peru. I need you to help me with my design for website. Then I asked, where are you from? They said, Peru. And you didn't know I'm from Malaysia. So what has happened is because you have established your expertise, people will come to you for those kind of services. You take them offline. This is something you don't do on IG. After that, you may do a Zoom call with them, or you may use email. You take them offline. So these are ways that people monetize on IG, but you take them offline and then into your sales funnel. So it is the same with any kind of selling. First, you build awareness. People know what you do, who you are, what is your expertise. Then you generate interest. They begin to follow you, and they begin to get interested in what you are doing. Then they will consider your service. Maybe he can help me in this area. I'm really lacking in this. And then they have intent to engage you. By that time, they will DM you already. It won't be on the comment section. They will DM you and say, Kenny, I have this problem. Do you think you can help me? And then that's when you push them offline for sales, for closing. So that's how you monetize.
So this will be a very useful one for a lot of coaches who is trying to actually build.
Yes.
I think
so if you are in a professional service, it is a great platform for you to be able to. Can you imagine that if you are always sharing your expertise, automatically if people have problem or have question, you are the go-to person.
Yeah, you're the top of the mind already, one.
Yeah.
True.
Mind share already.
But with the same methodology, work if you do it on, let's say, LinkedIn or Facebook.
Oh, Kenny is also very
different.
strong on LinkedIn.
It's very different.
Okay.
It's very different because the platform attracts different kind of people. Like for example, on LinkedIn, I got 2 jobs from China to do their whole corporate identity branding for one of the largest hotel chains in China.
Wow.
Simply because the person who was on LinkedIn, I used to work with him in the Shangri-La group. So when he went there, immediately he saw me on LinkedIn, he connected with me. We lost touch already. So you'll find that LinkedIn is has a very strong business community. So the way I post on LinkedIn and the way I post on Instagram is different. The way you word, the kind of image you use, because it's a different platform. What you do on Instagram, if you want to repurpose it for LinkedIn, you cannot just cut and paste. It will not work like that because it has to be platform specific.
So in a way that in a case, if you do not have the resources and time, it's not advisable to go into too many platforms.
So one of my advice is pick a platform, establish your credentials there, grow, and then like when you go to another platform, automatically you have got your followers who will pick you up from there one because they know you, and that is the power of personal branding.
Okay, that's a very good super packed information. Now, now I want to cue a little bit because the whole world was talking about Clubhouse. You see, I noticed you're on Clubhouse because I saw you actually came in, and then immediately so many people follow you, right? So, what do you think about Clubhouse?
I'm on Clubhouse because it's the latest hit in terms of social media platform. Now, I have to be honest. I am on Clubhouse, but I have not participated.
Okay.
I have been invited because the people I know on IG have took on and established themselves at Clubhouse, and they were telling me that I can be an asset there.
Yep.
But it takes time because unlike IG, you do it at your own time. Whereas on Clubhouse, it is like what we are doing now. You have to schedule in your time.
Yeah.
But you must understand that Clubhouse is a audio format. It's like podcast, but it's live. So it is very interactive, number one.
Yeah.
A lot of Q&A happens. So how is Clubhouse different from, say, IG? IG is about you putting out your content and then people consuming it. Clubhouse is interactive, is more interactive. It is you are there, and if you answer a question off the cuff like that, people trust you because they know you can't prepare ahead of time.
Yep.
You are doing like now what we are saying. You ask me question. It is live. So you build your authority in the sense that they really know and trust that you know your stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas on other platform, people ask you question, you can take time to research and answer.
Yes.
True.
So the credibility is not so much.
I think you'll probably do well on Clubhouse because
Oh, I think
on
sure,
Clubhouse,
man.
they only allow what you can connect to Twitter and also Instagram.
Instagram and
Yeah.
Twitter, yes.
Yeah.
Not Facebook. Not even YouTube.
Facebook,
What the?
not even YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
you're
had
right.
one of the
It,
I had one of the branding expert on Clubhouse who is doing very well. He was the one who told me to. He did a Zoom call with me. He's from Africa, Michael. He did a Zoom call with me, and he told me, he says, Kenny, I strongly believe you should change your company account into a personal account. He was the one who told me that.
Ah.
And then when I first did my story, I just did a cover page, with a very, very catchy headline. Like uh I was totally broke, for example, my headline. And then
Yeah.
in the caption, I'll write my story. He told me, he says, people who know you will read the caption because it's a long caption. But people who don't know you may miss it. So he told me to break my story into slides, where if I turn the slides, I get a gist of your story. If I want to know more, I go into the caption.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I did that, and the interest level was different. So he was right. So when he was on Clubhouse, I happened to bump into one of their sessions. Immediately he pulled me
Oh,
in
you
to
are
be one of the speakers. So I had to run out because I was at home with my grandchildren and all that. I just so happened I cannot talk. So that's the
right.
thing, you see. You cannot just engage anytime. You have to set aside time. You have to be in a quiet room to be able to engage on Clubhouse. Whereas on IG, it doesn't matter. I can be doing something else and I can still engage.
It's
So you
live,
need to set aside. So it's different. It's different in that sense.
I
So
think it's
not
very
at the
similar
moment.
to live, Facebook Live.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but instead of visual, it becomes audio, which is something
It's
that
something-
actually Facebook had,
Yeah.
So back
They
then,
didn't
Facebook had audio live, but they didn't keep it. They killed it.
They didn't
I
care.
have no clue why.
This
It
one,
was-
this one, I think is going to grow
yes,
because
I think
it is a different platform. Some people who are camera shy will love that platform.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
There you
Now
can
they
just
There are some
get
people
away.
just like me. I'm not comfortable.
Hey,
showing
you're
my
okay,
face,
right? You're perfect.
very well.
So those people will love Clubhouse.
True. That's why I mean that
And
was
the thing about Clubhouse is
Mhm.
you don't catch it, you miss it.
Yeah, look.
No recording.
And there's no
It's
recording.
not recorded.
Okay, now they
So
allow
you-
the
it's-
host to record, but I don't know how they
It's
will.
like radio lah. You miss it already.
That's it.
So when you
So
mix it now,
I can't tell you more about Clubhouse. That's basically my experience.
I have no clue. Also, I was pulled in by Andrew because he said that, if you don't get it, if you miss the handle,
Yeah, it's
the
by
username,
then only.
then I go. Because of
It's
that.
by invitation.
Yeah.
Last month, Elon Musk got on Clubhouse,
Yeah.
and he also the host also brought in the what you call it? What was that? Robin Hood?
Yeah.
The what you call it? The
Dennis-
trading. Yes.
Oh.
Platform.
The platform.
Yeah.
And
Any celebrity, actually, Clubhouse is driven by celebrities,
Yep. True. Always actually.
Yeah. It's driven
he's
by
so-
celebrities.
he's the only one.
So
to
that's why
actually
it's exclusive.
Clubhouse.
That's the reason why it's exclusive.
Correct.
Cool.
Correct.
But I want to bring up the next question we have here. I mean, Kenny, we talk about so-called brand building. Other than IG and we mentioned LinkedIn, what are the other platforms that you think that we should focus on? Like, if you want to pick anyone, and would you have any advice for any of the platforms that you?
Okay,
like?
I love LinkedIn.
Okay.
You will find that on LinkedIn, unlike on IG, is very light-hearted conversation. On LinkedIn, it's very cerebral.
Right.
I did one post on LinkedIn. Okay, I did it on IG. Branding versus marketing. It's a very interesting topic.
That would call it.
What's the difference between branding and marketing? On IG, I get quite a bit of engagement. People ask me questions, and then there were quite a bit of engagement. But when I posted that on LinkedIn, it went ballistic.
Wow.
I had 120,000 likes in that one post.
Awesome.
And I got so many comments. And one thing good about LinkedIn is this. On IG, if someone comment, you have to reply. On LinkedIn, someone comment, other people reply. So it takes a lot of you because people join in the conversation, and before you answer the person, someone else answers the person.
I see.
That's why I say it's very cerebral. There are people on IG who takes the discussion very seriously, and if you post on IG and there are what I call controversial issues, it is never taken very seriously on IG. It is taken very seriously on LinkedIn. They will confront you, and they will question you. If they find that what you say don't hold water, they will debate with you.
Right.
So you find that LinkedIn is a more serious platform. But if you are looking at serious leads, LinkedIn can get you serious leads.
Yep.
And the good thing about LinkedIn is, if let's say you build a sphere of your expertise, let's say if you post on logo or you post on design, LinkedIn will inform you, someone is looking for a designer. If you are interested, please reply. So LinkedIn itself is able to help generate leads for you. So I've got people who ask me, and then I will watch out if it's from Malaysia and all that. I'll reply them. So you find that it is a platform that is very business oriented. So I would say, if you have built your personal branding on Instagram, the next natural platform would be LinkedIn. And a lot of my community in IG is also on LinkedIn.
Right.
But they repurpose their content differently.
Yeah, you
Now,
cannot be
the
just
other
bulat
thing-
bulat over, right?
I cannot. It doesn't work. And also, it doesn't build credibility, which means you are not doing your content based on the platform.
True.
You are just duplicating your content. So that is not repurposing.
So it's funny, isn't it? You got the same guy who has an account in IG and also an account in LinkedIn. But the moment they switch platform, it's like a totally different person, you know. So when I'm on IG,
No.
for example,
The person is the same, but
Yeah.
how it will be like you talking to different client. No?
right?
Yeah.
If I'm talking to someone who is in apparel or fashion, the way I talk to him will be different to if I talk to someone who is in the healthcare. My approach is different. My expertise is the same.
No, but they have two accounts. Obviously, I mean most of them who are in LinkedIn. I don't have numbers to provide. Most of them who have in LinkedIn would have an IG account. Correct. So let's say, for example, if I'm talking to Kenny Songner, you have a LinkedIn account and you have an IG account. So, but if I converse with you on LinkedIn, then I have to use if I see Kenny in his office, I have to be very formal, very business-like. But if I see Kenny in the kopitiam, then I can do the IG language. Is that the case?
No.
I think yeah, I would
When I
disagree.
converse with someone on LinkedIn, who is someone I know, I talk to him the same I talk to him on IG.
Correct.
But if I talk to someone on LinkedIn whom I don't know, then I will probably be a little bit more conservative in my approach until I know the person. So it is the subject or the topic of your content will not change because that's your area of expertise. But because of the platform and the people around that platform, you package it slightly different.
I like the way they say it's a package.
It is the
it's the same
packaging.
content,
Yes.
but you
The content is the same.
Yeah.
The content is the same, but you package it in a way that is acceptable to that platform.
Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. So essentially, it's like the same content, but you change the tone. Because I actually experienced it myself.
For
Because
example, on IG you can have longer captions. On LinkedIn you cannot, because you are dealing with people who are time challenged, people who are very busy. there are a lot of CEOs there, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business people. They don't have time to read. LinkedIn is less of a social media platform. It's more of a business platform. So the people there just you whatever you want to tell me quickly. I got no time.
So the copy have to be short and straight to the
Shorten.
point.
300 characters, I think.
So usually, what I post my stories on Instagram, I can go in depth, you see. But when I move it onto LinkedIn, it is a condensed version. I just go straight to what is the lesson that I want to talk about, and it's usually about 40 to 50% of what I write in IG.
Yeah, I think 3,000 characters. They're limited 3,000 characters.
It's limited.
I can never figure out LinkedIn, not yet.
The other thing, for example, IG you can have up to 30 hashtags, right?
Yes.
IG will give you 30 hashtags. On LinkedIn, don't go more than 5 hashtags.
That's
because
a very good advice. Very solid.
People who are on LinkedIn will think you are spamming.
Right.
You are selling.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense.
One question about the IG hashtag. Normally, do you put inside the main copy or you put it in the first comment?
It doesn't make a difference. There's no difference.
Okay.
So if your caption is long and your word count is up, then you cannot put your hashtag
in the first
comment. Then you put in the first comment. But the trick is this: you have to do it at the same time when you post. You don't post already, then after people comment already, then only you put your hashtag. It's very disruptive.
True.
Right.
Awesome.
So you find even hashtag on the two platforms is very different. Another example, on IG, you when you do carousel, right, you use PNG, which means it is raster based, it is image.
Yes.
But you cannot do that on LinkedIn.
It's PDF.
LinkedIn, you have to use PDF.
In PDF, yes.
So you can tell LinkedIn is a more serious platform.
Right.
The document is PDF. On IG, you use image because IG is an image platform.
Yeah.
True.
So even in the mechanics of your post, is different on two platforms.
Yeah. I've seen people who wanted to adopt Facebook, trying to get people to like and follow and click on that image and those things. They got seriously burned on LinkedIn by the users.
No.
Yeah.
Don't play. LinkedIn
I tell you, seriously burned.
That's why I'm very careful what I post on LinkedIn.
Understood.
That's a very good nugget. Any other platform that you would suggest?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Who can avoid YouTube?
True.
Now the reason is this. Do you know that YouTube is the second largest search engine after Google?
Yeah.
Yes.
And how many of you, if you want to find out something, whether you want to learn something, you want to find a tutorial or what, you go YouTube.
Yep.
Because it's easier to learn through video than image or even words. So if you are, for example, wanting to do coaching, or you are someone who is a natural in front of the camera, not me, then YouTube is your platform. Jason will be one of them.
I did a lot, crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But it worked really well for me. I will agree with that because eventually, like
you cannot run away from YouTube if you want to really grow, because you see YouTube has got a longer lifespan.
Yes, that's for sure.
Instagram, nobody go and look at your old posts because it's not searchable.
Yep.
Whereas YouTube, if people search for a particular topic, even if you were posted this 2 years ago, it will still come up.
Yep. Yeah.
So in terms of lifespan, the work you do on YouTube has got a longer lifespan.
Yeah. More permanency.
So it was your investment. You invested that time into your content. It has been revisited without expiry.
Yep.
Even though on IG there's no expiry, people don't scroll back and look at your old posts.
Very difficult. I think it's very difficult.
So that is the difference.
Yeah.
Why you cannot avoid YouTube.
What about the speed, Kenny? How long does it take for you to bring your IG from more like a dormant account until something that you can catch on fire in a way?
Different people will grow at different pace, right?
Okay.
Depending on how serious you are. I'm not serious.
Okay.
There are people who reach 10K in like 6 months. One guy reached 100K in a year. And these are people who post every day.
Yeah.
You produce content. I'm okay. I used to post every day during MCO lah, because I had time. And then I also got my team they got no less work mah. So I also get them to do portfolio posts for me. So I post one day my story, one day my educational, one day my portfolio.
Right.
And then when MCO was lifted, I have to go back to my real job lah. So what I did was I post alternate days, and then I created my company account, and then move all my portfolio to that company account. So now I just do educational posts on branding, on design, on advertising, and then I also include stories, lessons I learned in my life over the 40 years in business. And what happened was, those who want to seriously grow, you are advised to post every day. So I'm posting like 4 to 5 times a week now. And then you have to engage, because you have to build a community. Now you find that because it's a social media platform, your community is to convert followers into fans. I have got people, if I don't post today, they will DM me and say, hey, where's your post? 6:30, I was waiting for a post, it never appeared.
Oh my goodness.
Is anything okay or not? And then when I post, I have got people who quickly comment first, and then I'm supposed to give them a crown because they were the first to comment.
Wow.
So these are fans.
Celebrity already.
These are called fans.
To you already, no.
Because they
I
look
have
forward
a
to your content.
total perception of Instagram now.
Those are different, right? No, it's like a
Totally
different thing. You can
Ladies
build
and
a kind of
gentlemen,
following over there. So
yeah, you've just received a masterclass on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Instagram. Okay, we haven't covered TikTok.
I'm not.
But we have Reels over there. You know, like Kenny was just talking about Reels.
Reels.
One of the key features. You know. Now I want to bring to the next question over here when it comes to that. You know, one of the last. This is the last questions that we have. If we were to build anyone who wish to build a personal brand on social media, what would be the advice?
First of all, you must know your purpose.
Okay.
Why? You see,
Why you do what you do.
You have to love what you do. You are not going into the platform because it's popular, or you're not going into the platform because someone else is doing it. You won't grow one. You have to be there because you enjoy what you're putting out. Like for example, now when I do my educational posts, I am sharing my expertise. It is an impartation, which means you are helping people, and to me that is a big part of what I'm doing. So for me, there's a personal branding map. If you want to be on IG, you need to know, first of all, understand yourself, who you are. What are your skills? What are your skill set? What are you passionate about? Where are your strengths? So once you understand yourself, then you are able to use that skill set to help other people. So you'll find that for IG, the beginning stages is about giving. It's about sharing your expertise. And when you do that, you want to also look at what is your purpose in terms of what do you want to achieve. And part of it would be what do you want to achieve within your sector, which means people in your industry. Like in my case, people in design, people in branding, people in advertising, people in copywriting. When you interact with like-minded people, you are not only teaching, you are learning. Like today, you tell me, oh, Kenny knows so much about IG. I didn't learn about IG on my own. I learned about IG from people I interact with. So you look at me like an expert, but I was a novice. I don't know how hashtag works when I first got active on the platform. So you find that you have got in terms of what you want to achieve, you have got three sectors that you have to look at. Number one is your peers, people who are within the same sphere as you, because iron sharpen iron. You want to be around these people. They are the one who will also authenticate your ability. Second, your market. Who are people who will benefit from you? People who want to learn from you. People who want to use your service. This becomes the market that you are looking at. So you have got two areas. One is people who are like-minded, whom you will teach and learn together with, and then the people who will benefit from you.
Then what about the third category?
For you, the third one would be you have to establish your style. Now, one of the worst things you can do on IG is to copy content, which means you take content from somewhere else and then you put it down and then you claim it as your own.
Right.
It is a very informed platform. You steal from someone and you put on there. Within a short time, you have comments saying that, hey, I saw this from this. Hey, you took this from this. Where is the credit? So you will find that if you adopt ideas from somewhere else, always give credit, whether in your caption or in your content itself.
I just want
it is
regarding this copy part, I noticed that a lot of TikTok people actually went to Douyin, mainland China, because mainland China's Douyin really boom. So they just blatantly copy the idea, redo it in TikTok, and they start to boom. Because the idea was proven working already, the video, the format, they just blatantly copy, get another group of actors, they do the whole thing. This is happening right now, and it's working very well for them.
Yes, but you are looking at that as an entertainment platform. Here you are talking about knowledge sharing, educational material. There is nothing wrong. Imitation is a form of flattery. They say nothing is original in this world anymore, in the sense. But what you have to do is you have to, when you take an idea, it is to inspire you. It is not for you to copy. So you may see something like, for example, a lot of my posts, the inspiration come from comments, which means someone commented something on my post and say, hey, this is a good idea for a post. And then I'll do my research and then I craft. They may ask me a question. Then I'll tell them, look, I may answer you better if I do a post. Wait for it.
Yeah.
So this is some of the ways in terms of building your style. You have to inject your personality into your posts. And that's why if you go into different established Instagram account, you find that there is a personality and there's a character, there's a look to their feed. So this is something that you want to establish from the beginning if you are looking at branding. Because end of the day, it is forming a visual impression.
Right.
So these are the three. You have to know yourself, know your strength, know your skill set, know your expertise. Then you have to know who you are going to be talking to, people in your sphere, and people who will benefit from you. And then you have to develop your style.
Awesome. This
is
really
the foundation of good personal branding.
Personal branding 101. We just received from Kenny, the master. Awesome. I mean, I think our audiences is really like glued to the thing. I think they actually kind of like lost.
Do we have questions from the?
We don't have many questions. We don't have many questions today, but our viewers are very consistent. They've been like really consistent. Now I think while waiting, if there's any questions, you guys can actually type in right now. But we let Kenny take a break, and we would like to talk about the WOW, which is our website of the week. So website of the week is being handled by Andrew today. Manfred, out of a sudden, he refused to do his job today. So Andrew, what is our website today?
How do we share this screen?
Can you click share screen at the bottom?
Share screen bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Pull it out.
Okay.
Yeah, you can actually pull the screen and I bring it in. Now, while waiting for that, right? So this is coming from Chiwai. Chiwai say no questions because too much info. I told you, Joy.
I think most of them went to your Instagram, go and take a look while listening.
Everybody must go and follow Instagram. I mean, Kenny's Instagram account. Okay. So, okay, now we have Andrew sharing his screen. Let me bring him up. Okay. Here we go.
Haven't done this before. Okay. You okay?
Are you ready? Then I bring it in. Okay, come.
All right.
So what is this? Wait,
So,
let me hide
basi-
Joy's question over here. Give me a minute.
Postmasters, your delivery errors, Google.
Okay. So,
Are you showing
what is
the
this?
right one?
Okay. So
Postmaster.
Google has this free service now. Okay, when in email marketing, when you send an email or email newsletter and all things, it's always interesting to know, besides the open rates, your deliverability of your emails. Then what Google has done is they've created this free service called Google Postmaster Tools, which is used to measure and also inform email marketers how basically the response with regards to Gmail users. Right. So let me do a quick one and I'll show you, for example, in this case. So what you need to do first is you register your domain with Google. So you go through the process of authentication of your account, your emails, and also your domain. So you need to do some work with your DNS. Once you have that and Google has verified that you actually own this account, you would then come to this page. It runs on a 30 days refresh rate, so you can actually track your performance of your email interaction with your Gmail users across 120 days, 90 days, 60, 30, and 7 days. So if using my particular account, which I use this for my email newsletters, they will have, Google will show you basically 2, 4, 6, 7 metrics. One is basically the spam rate. So in this case, you want to know, for example, how Gmail users basically, whether they take your emails that you send to them, do they consider as spam and all those things. There was, in my case, for example, generally 0% have 0% users reported spam, and except for this particular day where there was the 3.8%. And the 3.8% primarily because I was testing a group of users who have not engaged with me for quite some time, and I was just sent the newsletter to test, and that's where it comes in. So you will be able to now track your performance of your email marketing with regards to Gmail users. So then you can also look at your IP reputation. Now this is in relation to sender reputation. Each of your mailbox providers, your Yahoo, your Microsoft, Outlook, and all those things, they would have these anti-spam filters running. So your domain will be measured by a certain score. And when your score is high, the chances of your emails landing in the inbox is higher. But the moment your domain reputation score is low, most of your emails may end up in the spam folders. So IP reputation with regards to people who actually own your sending through your email sending from your own IP. That means large companies, the mail service is all registered IP. For people, I guess, for example, most of us will be looking at domain reputation because we will use your ESPs like MailChimp, MailerLite, and ActiveCampaign. So you will want to know from there whether your domain itself is considered high or low.
Okay. Passing you the URL from Andrew.
So I'm actually coming in, putting in already postmaster.google.com, right? Yeah, I've already put it in the comment. You guys can actually look for it.
Then feedback loop would only apply for large senders. You're talking about those who have 100,000 email lists. Then you can sign in so that you can know whichever campaign you send, which one actually has spam and which one doesn't have. So you're going to put in some tracking into your emails. So authentication. This one is basically when you look at, you generally look at authentication and most of the items maybe once every 6 months and all, because each of the emails you need to have your DKIM, which is your domain key authentication, your SPF sender profiles, framework authentication, and so DMARC. So as long as you notice most of them is considered 100%, you're quite okay. All right. SPF in this case is because I'm sending through MailerLite. So MailerLite has its own SPF. So that's why there's no alignment. That's why it becomes at this point, sometimes it gets 100% and then the rest it gets 0. But as long as your DMARC or your DKIM is considered high, you're quite safe.
Right.
So encryption basically would be, this one is basically this will be handled by your ESP, so you're quite safe. You don't have to worry much about it, as long as you go with reputable ESPs. Delivery errors, how many percentage of your emails actually not getting delivered into the inbox, right?
Wow.
So this is a useful tool for Gmail. So you can sign up for free, it's free, provided by Google. Now, if you want to know, for example, how about my Yahoo Mail users and all those things, or even Outlook users and all this stuff, you can actually try an app, a third-party app called Grok Apps. I use this for testing. You can sign it for free. You get to, when you sign up, you get to go through basically 3 tests. What Grok Apps does is they will have a network of email addresses which they have around across all the mailbox providers, and you have a campaign that you want to test an email. You sign up, and then they will give you a list of maybe 70 or 80 emails, which you then send this campaign to. And then what it does is it will then show you the deliverability of your particular campaign across all the mailbox available in the world. So in this case, I did a test for particular emails and emails to send, and I have about an inbox rate about 66%. Tabs is basically, let me show this. Tabs is basically whether, especially for Gmail or G Suite, you have your primary box, you have the promotion box, and all those things. So in this case, most of my emails with regards to Gmail users actually land in the promotional tab. Okay. And then those who respond, for example, they also know, for example, which of the mailbox actually end up as spam. So GMX, mail.com, web.de, Yandex, for example, when we test this, my emails were ended up in spam. Now the good thing is, when I go back to my email list, lucky thing is none of my email subscribers actually come from this particular, so I'm quite safe. All right?
Okay.
Yep. So Gmail, you can try the Google Postmaster tools. You want to get a big picture of each one of your users across multiple different mailbox. You can try Grok Apps.
Right. Awesome.
Can I add some what Andrew has just mentioned? I also share with Andrew that for this, it is important that when people receive your first email, ask them to maybe drag from the promotion tag and put under the inbox. So the next time when the next email comes, it will appear in the inbox, and also add that email address into the address book. So it gives a lot of signals to you, like your Gmail or your Yahoo Mail, that this is a true email that you want to receive. Yeah, this is very important.
Yeah.
So the reason why we have this thing, because TY was already questioning, why we have 2 wows today, and why Mentor is not doing his job. Don't ask me. I have no
Chinese New Year come early for me.
So thank you so much, Andrew, for sharing this and for information. If you guys need help in terms of anything to do with email marketing, Andrew is the guy that you want to talk to. Seriously, the expert. So basically, thank you so much for the wow today. And guys, I don't see many questions coming. I don't see any questions coming from the crowd. My co-hosts here, do you have any more questions for Kenny? Because it's kind of like super overrun today. Never before.
I'm definitely going to try out Kenny's guide with regards to Instagram.
Yeah, Chiwai has one question. Check that out. When can we have Kenny back? Chiwai, you're too greedy. No, let's plan for this. But with this, right, really, we have to thank Kenny for being with us today. It's a very meaningful one because tomorrow is Chinese New Year Eve.
Yeah.
Okay. And for those who are
happy Chinese New Year to all of you.
Happy Chinese New Year. Yeah. So this is the 3 Marketeers show. And Kenny, later you don't log off. We will go back to the backstage. And for everyone who are watching up to now, thank you so much. And next week we're gonna be here again. Of course, we're not taking leave. And same Wednesday 10 p.m. we're gonna come back.
This is our how to followers of the 3 Marketers show.
Yeah, this is really the
I
best.
have one last word I want to say.
Please.
Your personal brand is your new business card.
Absolutely.
Awesome. The personal brand is your new business card. And with that,
if you have built your personal brand on any platform, you send people there, they'll know more about you than a business card can ever tell them.
Wow, powerful, man. Totally agree.
Because it's built around your expertise.
That's true.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Thank you so much, Kenny. Thank you for the golden nuggets. We have
Thank you
so
for
much
having
of it
me.
today. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
It's our
And
honor.
next week, come back to this and remember to follow Kenny's Instagram. All right, that's what we want to do today. Thank you, guys. Happy Chinese New Year. 恭喜发财. See you next Wednesday.
See you
Same
next
time.
Wednesday.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Bye bye.